Good evening and welcome to RockYouth, RockTruth. I'm your host, TiMoys, and we thank you for joining us as we rock truth or absolutely nothing at all. We live in a society today where truth, even before our eyes, is consistently questioned, criticized, and altered to fit a person's ideology of God's original intent for the kingdom and for mankind. We believe that the Bible, our kingdom constitution, is inspired, infallible, inerrant, and the final authority for all. Rock Youth, Rock Truth is founded on He, who is the original point of reference for all things to come through eternity. Rock Truth is a cross cultural response to the economic climate and social crisis of today. We are designed to serve the physical need of fallen man while serving the spiritual need he didn't know he had that impacts, affects, and infects generationally. Rock Truth seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established local kings and queens of character while promoting Black consciousness and the awareness of who we are and to whom we belong.
Well, blessings, Queen. How are you?
Blessings, Queen. What's up, truthers? What's up, truthers? What's up, truthers?
What's going on? What's going on? Hi, Sierra. Welcome back. She back. She back. She back.
I know y'all missed me last Monday, but I'm back.
Yeah.
Like I never left. Like I never left. Oh man, the music ended. I love that. I really love that.
Me
It
too,
gets me.
whole time. I'm like, the music is a vibe.
It gets me going.
It's a vibe.
It's a bop. Ain't got the music. Come on, Queen. Y'all gotta stop muting yourselves. You have to.
I think
Can't hear me now.
I can hear y'all good.
Say, shout out to Larry and Janae Ink with them beats. Like, go hard. Like, ain't that
Go hard.
peculiar?
Yeah,
And we are peculiar people. And it's just amazing how it just came all together. But yes, ain't that peculiar? Go ahead, sis.
Hey truthers. Y'all know we back. We back with another nail check. Let's get into these new nails that TiMoys got this week.
Are you popping in for your nail check, Sierra? Are you gonna pop in for a nail check?
Yeah. Hold on, let me see. I got some nails on here too.
Here we go. Here they go.
Mine dope, y'all. Ain't they dope?
They're nice. I love them. Look at this, natural. I love them.
Yeah, I gotta get. Today is a self-care day. Today is self-care day. I'm gonna get it all together today. I like that. Okay, tell me what's going on. What's all the different? What's happening?
This was my 420 set for National 420 Day or whatever. So my nail tech, Tiara, she put a little green in there, and then I wanted all these stickers. So we got like a little bong and bad girl, and then like cash money, and then it's the stones. It's really the stones for me because she got these new things and then glitter. I was like, do what you do. And yeah, so she got me right.
Okay.
She got me right.
Okay.
And what was crazy was that last Monday when I missed the show because Spirit Airlines wanted to have me messed up because they lost the plane. Don't do Spirit, y'all. Don't do Spirit because you just might get lost on the 380 trip. So don't do it. And you'll come back probably next year thinking that it's the next day, but you'll be back next year. So don't do it with Spirit. But that same day, I was supposed to get my nails done because 420 was Tuesday. But I had to wait until the next day. So it was just a whole bunch of last minute, but I was not out of town getting my nails done, King. I was in town. My nail tech is in town.
He gonna tell on you. He gonna tell on you.
Right.
That's okay though. That's okay because he don't know. You tell on yourself.
I will.
He doesn't
Hello.
understand that you tell on you. So this ain't nothing. This ain't no exposed to Moya.
Yeah,
Nah.
so I
Tell it.
was out of town. Yes, I was, but it was for it was a little business trip, and I was supposed to be back, but spirit wasn't keeping my spirits up, and had me a little
I
thrown
cannot.
out. But you know, I'm back. I'm back because they tried to leave me
He's
in
back
the G
now.
in
Get back
Georgia, but I'm back up here
now.
in the real G.
He's absolutely back, my lord. And I'm happy that
But
you are back, sis.
I'm glad to
I'm
be
happy
back.
that you.
I'm glad to be
We
back,
did a nail
Queen.
check without you. I want you to know that we did do a nail check without you last week.
I
My
think I
nails were
watched
still
it.
the same.
I know.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Because yeah, Tyron says that he agree. I do not agree. Never fly.
Never
Oh, he
fly
do agree. He
spirit.
do agree. Never.
This is for all my kings and queens that's trying to have a luxurious, especially don't fly back if you're trying to come home. Cause I was so ready to come home. I'm like, I just want to go home. I just want to be home because they is different down there. It's different. I'm
Wow.
looking left.
I've
I'm
never.
looking right. It's just rainbows everywhere. I'm just like,
Wow.
ah! I'm just like,
They took over.
They took over. I
yes. And
know.
They took
Yeah.
over.
I was telling my boo about it, and he's like, wow, I wouldn't have never thought Georgia, because he think because
Oh, what
it's
he
the
did?
South.
ATL though, right?
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Oh, no, they didn't took over. That's the
I'm like, babe, it's like the state for sex trafficking and
Hollywood.
HIV, and this is that state. This is what they. And he's just like, I didn't know. I'm like, well, now you know. Now
oh
you
wow.
know.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
but
So
I had a
Sad.
great time. I had a great time. I
good.
learned a lot.
Good.
I came back wiser. I came back
Okay, let's I like that. I like the fact that you said you came back wiser
I
because
did.
the one thing about Rock Youth is that this show was designed around Tamoya and her growth. We're gonna watch her, as she becomes, as she, goes through the world and experiment with law. And one thing she always comes back, especially with loving folks, that it works. I love it. And so,
Love, man.
yes,
Love.
so, so we were talking
You
a
broke up, Queen?
relationship,
Okay.
and you
You
said
said we were
that
talking about
you
what?
were definitely ready to talk about the subject. I'm sorry,
Yep.
we were talking about relationship.
Yep.
You said you're definitely ready to like talk about relationship
Yes. Yes.
and relationship.
Yes.
I want to talk about relationship and what you've learned. So whatever it is you want to discuss, but I also want to discuss what have you learned? What is Georgia or your trip and all the traveling helped you to learn
Well,
in
you know
this?
what? I will say that um on the relationship kick, we
Mhm.
have to know like relationship is just like the equilibrium. So like anything that goes above or like below that, like relationship is like where we're at, because like we have acquaintances, and then we have like people that we really don't talk, like you don't have a relationship, like how we have a relationship with the Lord and we actually talk to him and stuff. I do know that wherever I go or wherever I travel, that my foundation will be love, and that I'm not finna just steer away or make it seem like I'm somebody that I'm not, because
Come on,
that's
say it.
not who I am. And that's never been who I am. I can't even fathom or think about being anybody else, because like you're wearing a mask. But
Again, that's one heck of an imagination to be somebody else. But go ahead, sis.
what I did what I did learn, I took a few notes in my when I went down and did business for my the Run the Play event that was hosted by this leader he's a financial leader, and he does like leadership talks and stuff. But when I went, I was are we speaking relationship with God? We're just speaking relationship, period. King Tyron. We're just speaking relationship. You have a relationship with your significant other. You have a relationship with the Lord. I have a relationship with you. I have a relationship with everybody part of Rock Truth Nation. So it's just different stuff like that. But when I did go to the Run the Play event by Justin Owens, before I went, I had already knew that it was it's key things to like relationship, like we were talking about communication and love and forgiveness and kindness. And they just kept putting on, like they just kept saying these keywords like um love and sacrifice and mindset, focus, development. And it all starts, and we were just talking about this before we got on the show, about how it starts with mindset. It starts with your mindset. Like, you don't have to be a CEO in actuality, but when you have the mindset of a CEO, or if you have the mindset of a chairwoman or a chairman, then you're already there. That's pretty much what I learned the 2 days that I was there. And I was just really grateful and thankful for the experience, because now this Thursday I'm on my way back out of town to Arizona to see what Arizona is gonna bring. But being down in the South is really, it's different than being up here up north. And with a lot of history being thrown at us in this society, like with TV, and it's just a lot of things that was happening 60 and 70 years ago. It just really opens your eyes, and it makes you look at the people, our people today, like the people that I was going to school with and stuff. It makes you want to look at them different, because like these were their grandparents, and they were like out here doing us how they were doing us. So you just have to keep your mind on God, and know that you're here for a purpose and a reason. Like, just love. And that's it. Was a song that I was listening to today, and it was just like, he was saying how some people don't deserve love, or some people can't give it or something. I'm just like, that's a lie. Like, we're put on here. We're put here to love. We're put here. We're not born to hate. We're not born with hate tendencies and these virtues that aren't, like, we're born with the patience and kindness and love, like pure. That's what pure is, a baby. Like, and what really gets me is that I was gonna put on Facebook the other day, but it's some things that I tend to not say anymore, because we are kind of a sensitive generation, and I've lost friends because of things that I've said that were the truth, and I guess they took it the wrong way. But I was gonna say, like, so is there like a gay gene? Like, I feel like it's been asked, or people have been asking, like, do y'all really think that it's a gay gene? Like, because people are just, we're born this way, and I was born gay, and I was born this, and I'm just like, where is that gene?
Let's talk about that. Because I want to back up a little bit.
Okay, because I was a little everywhere, but that was the moral, y'all.
Let's go into being born, because we are inherently born into a sinfully depraved culture. And so when we're born from the seed of Adam, and that Adam is fallen. That seed is fallen.
Right.
And so we are born hating. We are born selfish. That's why a baby will cry anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
The baby is crying for
They
attention.
do. Oh my goodness.
So we are inherently born selfish. That's why when somebody be like, a baby wouldn't lie. What you mean? Ask them where them cookies at. I don't know. Now who taught you to lie?
That's what I'm saying. I saw a 3-year-old lie the other day.
Inherent. It's inherent. They're liars. They're liars. Just like, that's why I'm putting them past my baby. You put into the child his character, his image, his love, his kindness, his forget. You teach that quality into the child. That's why he says when they get old, they won't depart from it, because there's going to be a point in which they're going to get to where they got to make decisions which way to go. And they may not make the perfect decision to go into the way in which that you would want them to go, but they may have to go through some paths and stuff to get them back into alignment to say, no, we go this way. And so you can't control that. That's why I always teach that you are to teach law, not your experience. Just teach the law, because when they get to whatever point they are, all they need to know is what to do. And that's love, right?
That is true.
So now you're back into being born, how we're born. So if we're born homosexual, then that says, because this is that particular sin, this is what this sin says. This sin says that God is a liar. This sin says that God didn't say or mean what he said or written at any point in time. This
Right.
sin says that if he lied about this, everything's up for grabs. That means everything's suspect. So what you're saying is that your preference is more important than his purpose. And that's not
Yeah.
what this is.
Yeah.
And so he wouldn't create. So when you go back to how we got here, he created man, which is Adam, right? That's all man, women, children, we're all encompassed in Adam. So
That is
we're one.
true.
Okay, so when he's talking to Adam, he's talking to all of humanity. He's talking to all of us. So then he puts Adam to sleep. He takes out what he put in, what he had already put in us.
Mm-hmm.
He took out of us, and then
Uh-huh.
he formed Eve. Okay, he formed Eve. So now you got Adam and Eve. But what did he do that for? He did that for the purpose of recreation, for us to, or how can I say, it's a manufacturer type thing. You know,
Yeah.
this prototype A, this is prototype B. And for prototype B, I need you to get out of prototype A everything that I put into it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about you having a preference or whether you like this or not. You have to understand that this is a kingdom. We
Right.
serve a God who has mandated orders that are
That is
not up
true.
for discussion, they are not up for debate, and they serve his purpose, not your own. So the only reason that you want to be with whoever it is that you want to be with that doesn't serve his purpose, which is procreation or life, it's only serving death.
Yeah.
Then because you desire to go against his will and his way, and you're also calling him a liar in your lifestyle. And that's why that's the one sin that's different from the rest. Because the rest of us, yeah, we're saying that it's
Right.
us.
Right.
We're saying it's us. We're the sinner, but we ain't calling him one.
Exactly.
And so, Gene, it's a choice. It's a
And
choice.
and you know what? And when I was saying that, because that's why in this society that I actually lost friends. Like I was just like, it is a choice. And they're like, no, you're cut off because you're homophobic and you're just this. And I'm just like, but I love you. And they're just like, I can't have that negativity in my life, and I can't do this. And it was somebody else that I knew that was like this. And I'm just like, but you've known me for 10 years and you just met this girl that was thinking this about you. Like, I love you. I loved you before you came out. I love you while you're trying to fight yourself. I love you. And it was just, it kind of broke my heart that a simple me actually expressing and showing what I believe, our friendship was over because that's what I did. But the thing that really caught me was, and I feel like I've talked about this before. I have, because we were brought up the same, but then when we ventured off from our parents, they just found another way.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Sierra,
it's sad.
What are you saying? I want to definitely add you to the convo.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Awesome. So I have the revelation, especially when it comes to the whole thing. From the ages of 5 to 12, the enemy troubles the mind of children. Now some even earlier, and he, deals with their sexuality. And oftentimes when the enemy comes, a lot of these children don't even recognize it is the enemy. He throws thoughts in their heads and things like that. Especially these children are not under a covering. They don't have praying parents or some of that nature, or they don't have people that they can come to and talk to about what they're experiencing. So by the time they're like 14 or 15, if they haven't had anyone, it was to pray for them or, cast, demons or that type of thing, it's full blown. The sin is full blown by this time. Not earlier now, but between the ages of 5 I found that God gave me a revelation, and I've met a lot of people within that lifestyle, and they would even say like some of their parents prematurely prophesy some of this stuff. To be honest, they would tell them like, "Are you gay? I think you gay. You gonna grow up and be gay." And this one man, he said, when I grew up and I became gay, he was surprised. He's like, basically already spoke into my life what I was gonna be.
Yeah.
So that, like you say, since that sin runs deep in those ages, oftentimes there's away. Like we don't have that open door to come to our parents in the African American community like that for real. Now Tom and Billy, he can come and tell, Dad, they're gonna sit down, they're gonna hold the whole me at home. But with us, it's like you can't do that because the first they want to beat you, they're gonna talk about you, they're gonna,
Mhm.
it's too much. You can come to your parents and say, hey, I don't feel right, something going on with me. We really don't have that open door policy. So then it's like you
Yeah.
take it in, it continues to go. By the time you free to do when you're 16, this is who you are. You've accepted it, and now everybody got to accept
Right. And that's the crazy part. Everybody
it.
everybody has to accept homosexuality, but then nobody has to accept heterosexuality. Like I don't understand that.
Right.
That's what I don't get. Like so now it's not okay to be heterosexual. Like my standpoint doesn't matter anymore. Like because yours and it's one that I choose not to recognize. Like you're in this moment choosing not to recognize,
Yeah.
mine. And a lot of it is especially when somebody says, and this is the big thing, and I need y'all to hear me for real because it's the
I'm
truth.
listening, Queen.
When they say all I know is I've been gay since I was born, and all I knew is as a child, that's because they probably been touched ever since they was a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
Probably been.
That is
That's
true.
all they know is inappropriate touching, and this is the
Mhm.
real conversation we don't want to talk about. It
Mhm.
ain't even so much, Sierra, because I'm with you. I know we can't. It's the conversation of being homosexual that we can't talk about, but the real conversation was I was touched that we ain't gonna
Yeah.
talk about. We like to
Yeah.
sweep that one under the rug, but that's not helping nobody. And understanding also too, the person that's been touched, who been touched,
Yeah.
been touched. So it's a
Yeah.
cycle that's been perpetuated. So it's like,
Yep.
hey, you can't be just like you can't look at other people's sin. You can't judge people. Don't judge people. You don't know how they got that, but they got that off somebody else.
That's true.
I bet.
That is
Yep.
true.
So I
That
mean,
is
So the
true.
young lady,
my job is curbing.
it's a lady. It's a lady that I know. She told me part of her journey with this started. It's like she was just felt so comfortable talking with me. But I guess she said because of how she seen men in her life, men from her father, men like her brother, and all this other stuff. She considers herself a full blown lesbian. She's never dealt with a guy. But it started off due to the men that she's seen and men that she's been around in her life that I guess caused her to make these kind of decisions early on age.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That is true. Because you know what? Speaking of that, speaking at early ages and training up a child in the way that you should go, the
Most
celebrity of the week I chose because I've been, dwindling in our past society and just trying to get as much information as I can about that. It's Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. That's who our celebrity of the week is because I don't know if y'all seen it, but Hulu got this genius Aretha like autobiography going on. It's 8 episodes, really good. And me and Grammy, we watched the episode last night. The one, what's that song she did? Young, Black, and Beautiful or something. Strong, Black, and something like that. Something like that. That album. But that's the one that we watched. And Aretha, it was I was just trying to figure out what they was talking about because back then in the 40s and the 50s, they kept saying in the show how the road is a wild place. Like the road is a wild place. The road is a wild place for a child, especially in the South. And I'm just watching it and I'm watching it. And my girl Aretha done turned 12 and she done got pregnant and done had babies, 2 kids before 15, being on
yeah,
that road. And I mean, like, and her father was a pastor. I mean,
right.
and a devoted father. I mean, took care of his children, was involved in the congregation. And one thing that Aretha's past husband has said, Ted White, he was like, how her daddy loved Saturday nights and Sunday mornings. And when he said that, I was like, you know what? Because I know a few that do too. Like the cycle, it just keeps on, it keeps on, it keeps on. And for her, I'm just like, I'm talking to Grammy. I'm like,
yeah,
she's just like, yeah, we were mature back then, mature. We could do this, we could do that. I'm just like, she was mature enough. She going out on the road getting pregnant at 12. No, right. Yeah, and it was just because she was watching her daddy, and her daddy is out here running out on women and being disloyal to her mom. But that queen, she was something. She was something. She wasn't afraid to let it be known who she is, what her purpose was, who she followed. Like, that was the queen of soul. And if you got a chance, please check it out. It's really, really good. It's very educational. It just filled my head with knowledge just about us as Black people, not even just as women, just as Black people, and being a civil rights activist, and just knowing when to take a stand and what to talk about. Like, and I'm just like, I'm watching the reporters, white reporters, I'm watching them like ask her questions and ask, are you a communist? Are you this? What do you fight for? And she's just setting it straight. Like, I fight for freedom. I fight for freedom. Like, I fight for us to be whatever y'all have going on. Like, if the roles were reversed, I'm just confused. Like, it was just confusing me with their questions. Like, white people, if the roles were reversed, what would you want? Like, what would you want? What would you want? We want freedom.
Hold that, and we will pick that back up after our commercial break. I love that, because I don't want you to lose that momentum and that fire. I love that question, because we do have a lot of things to address, with what's going on, especially with youth today and the police shooting and different things. So hold that comment. We'll come back right to it after our commercial.
Pretty hearts, we shine the light on whatever's worse. Perfection is a disease of a nation. Pretty eyes, we shine the light on whatever's worse. Trying to fix something, but you can't fix what you can't see. It's the soul that needs a surgery.
As the consumers also raise it, because that I love one thing about watching the Dave Chappelle special, and he was saying, you know what, now I'm gonna go to my real bosses, and his real boss was the audience, and he said, I'm asking you guys who are the consumers to not purchase or participate in this, and so that's the same thing. We didn't as well. We are the real bosses and are the machine.
Do me a favor. On your platform, and again, I'm so humble and blessed to be on your platform. Do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
The same platform that you have right now and what you're doing right now, I don't even think you realize RockTruth Radio stands for more than just RockTruth Radio. Here's the difference with what you're doing culturally. You're talking about building a whole bunch of people that's looking at your show and looking at the sisterhood and brotherhood that you bring forth every single show. And it's showing them subliminally, this is how you work together.
Yeah.
This is the bridge you build for other people to cross over back and forth. That's the kind of platform that we need. That's the kind of positive energy that we need. If it's not for your show, how will younger people have first off a blueprint to follow and something to look forward to, and to say, I don't really want to do the rest of that stuff that everybody else is doing. I need a show that is indicative of who I am. And that's what RockTruth is all about. So I'm so humbled to be on your platform.
Thank you. And we're humble to have you. And I'm sorry, just one last minute and I'll let everybody else talk. But thank you for that. And just like you said, you stand independent. So do we. We are not, willing to do anything for any money. We're not willing to compromise anything. If we got to put in the work, we'll put in the work before we compromise ourselves and the God that we serve. But we don't need that. We're not here for that. We're here for his namesake solely. And so I'm so grateful that you've taken again the time to turn and see us for who it is that we are. That was I'm trying not to cry, Will. Well, we are back. We are definitely back. To Moya, you were bringing up just huge issues of concern, really, in
Just
reference to
controversy. Just
social climate of today. I love the question that you posed, though. Say it again. Say it again.
if the roles were reversed, if it was them that was if it was us that was holding them captive and in captivity and in oppression for so many hundreds of years, like, what is the questions that they will want us to be asking them? Are you a communist? What are you fighting for? What do you want? Like, what would their answers be? What is it that you want
Teach
out of this life? This life, because this isn't forever, once again. So
what type of responses or reactions would you want from us? That's another question. Like, what's your, that's a grand question to ask
I think
today.
what blows my mind the most is that, like, they're taking like, I know we're doing this for like generations to come, and it's not about us at the end of the day, but like, what exactly are they just trying to do for the life that they're here? Like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be here for a purpose, just like I'm here for a purpose. So why make it harder? Like, why should we make it harder for the both of us? Like, because that I'm not finna be oppressed. I'm not finna sit down. You're not finna hold me. That's just simple. You're not finna hold me.
That's what I'm
And it's like, why waste 10 plus years of the life that we're already not promised?
Hello?
Why waste 10 years to fight? Fighting every day.
Why are we compiling it? This
When
doesn't make
those 10 years we could have been working together to see what we could do for the next generation, so that this won't have to happen, so they won't have to work 20 years fighting and war and power search, and like, people are worldwide. It's all about power. It's been about powers from the books, from the history, worldwide, nationwide. It's just always been about power amongst humans, and nobody knows what to do with it. Nobody knows what to do with it, because it's not in you're not supposed to have all this power. Nobody is supposed to be watching. How the old president don't even know my name. You don't even know me. You don't even know me. You want to take over a whole nation. You want to lead all these millions and millions of people to do what? To be like you? To be like you? What are you doing? What could you be doing? What advice are you giving me that I can't get, or that I can't learn from the source? Because you're not the source. You're just like me. We bleed together, and we are on a set schedule. Like, it just really, because I've been watching a lot of oppression. I've been watching a lot of 1970s and 1930s. Billie Holiday done got me. Aretha done got me. And the fact that they were just Black young women, it was just like, wow. And I'm just like,
desiring change like we do.
my sister's like, was watching, they had on the dresses on. She was like, why we can't wear dresses like that? I'm like, we just wasn't born in that time, and I'm really glad we wasn't born in that time, because it's just people like no, it was just a different time made for
it was
different us,
with the little puffy under the bottom, and I love that. I'm huge on. I love the 20s. I love swing. I love dance. So like that era of dance for me was just amazing. Just continued on into the 40s, and just but I'm with you. We kind of addressed last week a lot of the issues from the alternative perspective that no one wants to really, talk about, because again, the RockTruth, we deal in the basic bottom root of truth. Okay, the foundation of where do problems start and persist. And so we talked about that, last week, but I do want to talk about from the perspective of the police officers. And so now that you get into this situation, your reactions and not your responding, that is a issue. And because you guys have been trained and doing this for so long, y'all been getting away with this stuff for so long.
Too long.
Y'all not understanding why now everything you do is being so this kind of like gives you the mentality of how Black folks are in society today, because we have the umbrella of Black and the stigma of everything you do is now going to be charged against you, even if it wasn't even that extreme, or even if it literally was an accident. It's not going to be that no more. Because again, now you're under the same scrutiny that Black people have been under since I'm almost wanting to say whenever you have the history of slavery. I'm sure it was us.
It just keeps on. It keeps on giving, and it just keeps on. The cycle just keeps on, because we keep on putting these same people to lead us, like the leaders that we have or that are supposed to run us, like this nation, and keep us pushing forward. Like that's what the president's supposed to be, and the Supreme Court and all these people. But I was watching Billie Holiday, and they said that last year they tried to pass the anti-lynching something, and and they still haven't passed the law. So I'm confused. Is lynching still allowed?
And then
lynching still allowed?
They did pass though the other day. Whatever the count was, I almost want to say it was like 86 or 87 to 1 or whatever the count was. They did pass the other day for anti-Asian. Yeah. So they passed that. But the with lynch ain't in effect. The thing they had for Emmett Till still ain't got all
That's
this
what
stuff.
I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The Emmett Till thing. And I'm just like,
still pass.
But they tried to put it like, put a band-aid over it by just saying like murder is illegal and you can go to jail for murder. But they'll still lynch us if they want to, but they just don't possibly go to jail for life. But will still lynch us. And you know what? Billie Holiday said it's some strange fruit. The southern trees got a strange kind of fruit. And I'm not with it. They don't want us to talk about it. They don't want us to advertise it. And I mean, we have the internet now, so it's gonna hit the whole 50 states in 30 seconds. Sure. So it's like when Billie Holiday was doing it with Strange Fruit and they dragging her off the stage not to sing about it. Like, what else do they want from us? Like, because if the roles were reversed, what would they be doing? What would they be doing?
You see it reversing. You see it's reversing. It's starting to change. That turn is starting to happen. And again, they're feeling it. They're feeling it now, And
they ain't feeling it hard enough.
Empathy goes to you because, again, I say this how we've been feeling. This how it feels to be, targeted, pinpoint. You can't even have a fair trial or a right trial because it's going to go according to the people. And that was one thing you said. You said we keep choosing our leader. It's us. Don't talk. I don't care if you sat here and felt like, well, I ain't have a choice who to vote for. Yes, you did have a choice.
You did.
You could have either ran yourself or you could have found the independent candidate to support and back. But they going back and forth. It's the same game with the Republican democracy. There is no way we can be built on a republic and have a democracy. Them two, they're oxymoronic.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Everything they do don't make no sense. And we still rely on them as if, and we still pretend as if we didn't put them there.
Yeah, I mean, it's people. Yeah, it's people in the office for decades. I mean, they is on the Supreme Court. They is on all the, because let's just face it, the president, they really don't have no real power. There's no real power in being the president. I mean, you just have this title and you're this person and inauguration and blah blah blah. But if you want something to go through, it has to go through this other set. And what can they do? Like, they can say that law can't be passed. And what are you going to do? As the president, you're supposed to be, what did Olivia Pope say? The most important man in the world. He was the most important man in the world. How? How are you? How is Joe Biden the most important person in the world? How was Trump the most important man in the world with no real power? No real power. No real power. How are we still allowed to lynch? How is lynching still allowed?
I was thinking about, first of all, if Sierra goes somewhere else in her house, I'm gonna let her know about it. But I was thinking about, girl, she done went all around this house. Anybody else going to tour?
I seen her.
I went on the tour. I'm like, okay, so what's in that room, sis? You know, but I was definitely thinking about currency. I was thinking about currency. Somebody had mentioned, you know, being on the barter system. And they asked, was I comfortable with barter? And I said, well, I didn't say to them. It just made me, think a little bit more. And I said, well, the truth of the matter is we are all technically on barter. Like, it's just it's fictitious, it's fake, it's not real. Like, even to the point where they're showing you now your transactions are more so transactions, but no real purchases.
Yeah.
Transactions, but no real purchases.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at things, it's like, okay, even though like I may work for my boss, yeah, but that's a service in exchange for what appears to be money. It's not. It's really exchange for the hairstyle I get, the car that I'm driving. It's exchange for the gas.
That is true.
We're all technically on barter.
That's
there
right.
is no so everything that they created with money. I mean, people are dying over something that's fake.
Yeah. Stimulus is in tax money.
This stuff is fake. It's
killing. They killing over it.
And it's crazy.
Killing
it's crazy.
over it. It's killing.
It's the life we live, a superficial life.
It is.
MTV Cribs was that show was King.
You know, he said, I couldn't even see that. No, we fed
You know, we fed it.
MTV Cribs.
Yeah, I swear that's what it was. I was like, what's over there, sis? What's in that closet? What you got over there?
Yeah.
But Sarah, you want to chime in?
You know, I was basically listening. Like you said, borrow. Everything is borrowed. They give you the money for you to put it right back where it came from. And I'm like, it's so real. And it's crazy. We told us the racks down, ain't nothing nowhere. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, this is considered almost like a phantom. This is considered almost a phantom. And I'm like, back in the day, they stir up. You know, I'm like, this guy, because you don't know how many years of this we finna have. I'm like, we had 7 good years, 7 bad. I'm like, it's crazy. People spending more money now than before. I'm like, there ain't really money.
Yeah.
It's real.
My girl Billie Holiday died with 70 cents in her bank account.
Oh no.
And she said, and you know what, the government was trying to get her because that smack was really prevalent back then, so they was trying to find the drug source, but they was really just trying to get her out of here. Like, it was just bad. The United States versus Billie Holiday. It just really made me sick because it's like they're saying they want to find the drug dealers and where the source of the drug is coming. And she was a person that was taking the drug, but she was also in tune with society and wasn't afraid to let it be known, like, y'all is out here killing us. Y'all is out here doing wrong. And I'm gonna sing about it. And y'all love me so much that y'all want me to sing about it. And y'all want me to, and y'all want to hear my beautiful voice. And you want to see this red lipstick on my black face. That's what you want to see. But you want to arrest me. You want to drag me off stage because I'm telling on y'all. How? I'm not telling nothing that y'all ain't telling on yourselves about.
Right.
Lynching is public. That's a public affair. Lynching is made to be embarrassing and to be to let it be known that it's supposed to be, I guess, an alpha in the society, but that's not what that no. And my girls, they was doing it back then. I mean, the movies is amazing. Y'all better get on Hulu. I do not don't sue me for nothing if people start watching Hulu, please, whoever's out there, the people that own Hulu or whatever. I don't want nothing. I'm just trying to, y'all was doing it on Hulu. So go out
I know
the United States versus Billie Holiday and Genius Aretha. They is really yeah, it's really
okay.
good.
I am. Give me something to watch while I'm on bed rest right now. So I need things to look at.
And what
And
else do I have written down here?
I'm not
Oh,
sure because it's over there.
patience. I put on here, patience is a virtue.
Okay.
I put pay, and you know what? I was gonna say this at the Adjust Your Crown uh um Adjust Your Crown conference. I couldn't figure
Yeah.
I was gonna say concession, but conference. I was gonna say this while I was up there about the do what I do. That patience is a virtue. Women, we have virtues. We are women that patience is a virtue that we have. We have it, and it's only the world and these ungodly things that happen in the world that dwindles us and diminishes us with our virtues. And that was what I had to say. I was going to say a little bit, I was probably going to sauce it up a little bit more, but that was really it. Like this patience is really big right now because it's a lot going on. I mean, you see, we still waiting for the white people to feel this heat, and we on hundreds of years, so you just have to have patience in this skin. You have to have patience, man, because it just don't last always. God is good, keep the faith, but faith without work is what?
Dead.
Exactly.
It's dead.
and
That's
and you know what, that was really it. It was just about being in tune with your history, baby. Be in
yes.
tune.
Yes. All
Be
of
in
it.
tune.
It does not stop
Yes.
at history. Okay. Please don't
Yes.
stop at Africa, which wasn't even named Africa originally. So please don't just stop there, Black people. Your history is beyond the color of your skin. You have history of your spirit and your soul. Where does that come from? That's where you really need to know, because that's just like looking up the history of the current house you live in. Like, but you're not getting the family history. You're not getting the knowledge of the people that live there or dwell there. You need the knowledge of who you are because of the people that's dwelling in the house that you're in. And that's the way
Yes.
that you understand and know how to keep the house up. What things need to be changed, and
Mhm.
all of this stuff. It comes with, again, that manufacturer's manual. And so don't stop at all of the history books that talk to you about your skin color, because
Yeah.
that's not matters. It matters what's the content of your character, or the
That's
content
true. And
of your,
Alexander
yeah.
Hamilton, who was an
Oh,
immigrant, he is a prime example of this. And if y'all still ain't watched Hamilton on Disney Plus, you better get into it because it's really good. I mean, he was George Washington, a white man who owned slaves, and I mean slaves. That
yeah.
was his right hand man, an
Right.
immigrant, somebody that was writing out his things, his presidency things, and what to say to the nation and what to say to Congress, and he's up here, but y'all treating him like he the bottom of the bottom because that one time that he messed up, that one time all his stuff was just all around the 13 colonies or whatever was going on around that time. He was just an immigrant and he's embezzling us and we got to get him out, and I hope you save money for your kids. And but you know what? That's what I'm talking about. I love our people. I really do. I really
Right.
do because his comeback was just like, I don't have to tell you nothing because I don't know what the rights and the laws was back then, but I guess he didn't have to tell them nothing about what he was doing because he was in charge of the money.
Okay.
How do you put an immigrant in charge of the money? But whatever. I'm not even. It's just too
It goes
much.
back it goes back all the way back.
It's too much. It's too. It doesn't. None of it really makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And patience is seriously, like you said, it's a virtue. It is the byproduct of love.
Yes,
Just the fruit of the spirit, and the fruit of the spirit is love. That's why it's fruit, not s. It's fruit of the spirit.
fruit.
It's love, and so when you have love, or rather, um, Yeah. When you have love, you have kindness. You know what I'm
The
saying? When you have
branches.
love, you have patience. When you have love, you have forbearance. When you have love, you have self-control. You know what I'm saying? And this is all the evidence, or when I say byproduct, kindness and all of that is the evidence of love, the fruit. So don't get it twisted. When he's
Yeah.
talking about that fruit, he's talking about that love. Come on up at it.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's really it's how you treat people. Like I learned that also. I mean, I know that's what it's about. I know in my heart, like I was eager to learn when I went to that event. But it was like some things that they were saying I already knew, but it was some things that they were saying that I didn't know. So that's why I say I came back wiser. But something that somebody said there was just, it's really how you treat people. And it really is. It's really how you treat people. You never know. You never know. We've said this before. You don't know you don't know what nobody's going through. You don't know what anybody is experiencing. And you really don't, because it could be a CEO walking into RockTruth Cafe, and just because he felt the spirit walking in, or just know, like, yeah, this the truth. Like he could sponsor us and give us $1 million, and we would have never known that he was a CEO coming in there with jogging pants, New Balances, and a T-shirt. But because we treated him just like we would treat any other body,
anybody else. Yep. For real. No,
it's about how you treat people, man.
You said
Y'all gotta
about like the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And so when you have relationship, that relationship that you have, the two main relationships that we have is with God and with each other. And it also coincides. Again, that's the vertical and the horizontal relationships that we have. The horizontal relationship is the relationship you have with people. The vertical relationship is the up and down relationship you have with God. And it also coincides with oh goodness, why am I drawing a blank? Shoot, it'll come to me. However, it is imperative though that the relationships that you have with people, there you go, it coincides with his word, our commandment, the commandments that we were given. Love God, love others. So if your relationship with people not right, your relationship with God not right. And see, people first, it's like, oh, I gotta have my relationship right with God, but God like, no, don't come here if you ain't go again fix that with your brother. You ain't go fix that with you know what I'm saying? No matter who it is, the relationships ain't right. You're not in right standing, and so you can't even do prayer requests. See, people think they can just turn a petition to God, anything they won't know. It's set up
and
just
victimize themselves.
That's what I'm saying. And then they get mad at him because nothing happens when you're not even in right standing to petition. I told you, if you're not forgiving, you're not forgiving. I told you what to do. And trying to come to me indirectly, getting around the fact that you and your brother, again, I say, got to own.
Yeah, everybody wants to be forgiven.
Yep. Oh, sure. You even want to be forgiven. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, but I'm going to forgive, because forgiveness is for self at the end of the day. It's not for the other person. It's for self. And that's from my pastor, Cater Brooks Jr. It's for self. Because you spending all this time being mad. You being mad. People die mad. You're dying mad. You're dying selfish. Stressed. Your heart's so stressed. And you just holding all this. You mad. You mad at family and your friends. You want to be alone. And now you just miserable. Why? Why? Go forgive them. You never know. You never know. You never know.
They're not realizing that the leading cause to Alzheimer's is holding memories, holding things, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, going back and forth in your head because you didn't do stuff that you wish you would have did, or you didn't say stuff that you. So elimination is leading to the memory loss. You have no room for nothing else. You didn't take out the trash. You didn't take out the trash. Thank you, Holy Spirit. You didn't take out the trash, getting that stuff up out of you. You weren't supposed to be dwelling on that 20 years.
Exactly. 20 years. 20 years.
I heard you down there talking. I didn't want to like negate you out of this before we, get out of here. Did you have anything to add to this portion of the conversation?
Absolutely. So I never knew that Alzheimer's was the cause. I mean, holding stuff in.
I didn't either, but it makes sense.
It does.
It makes sense.
It make a whole lot of sense because, like you said, unforgiveness. The Bible said if you have a all against your brother, go to them and tell them. And I've just faced myself in a situation. I did just that, and the conversation went left. And by us being two people of God, I'm just like, so what do we do now? And it's like I did my part, but if you, like you said, forgiveness. If you're forgiving somebody every time, or if you guys getting over a situation, every time you're around that conversation keeps coming up. It keeps coming up.
Then that's not forgiveness.
That's not forgiveness. And it's you still holding something in your heart, and you know what the word says. And then, like you said, it's a trick of the enemy with the mind, because now you look at people with Alzheimer's. And just to think they walked around holding all this stuff in that they should have gotten off of them many years ago. Half of some of the people who offended them, who were wrong, are dead and gone. So it's kind of like you can't even right those wrongs at this point.
Still mad.
They here no more.
How you mad at a corpse?
They mad at a corpse, girl. They serious. They serious.
Yeah. I mean, crying serious.
Listen,
crying serious,
girl. What they did,
and you know what, Sierra? I'm glad you said that about forgiveness, because when I was younger, me and Selena, we had a book club, and we was reading the
Narnia.
The Narnias. We was reading the Narnias. And The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that one, because it's all biblical sense. And in the movie, I like it because when Edmund sins with the witch, and they had to go to the lion.
Yes.
And the lion, who the lion is. So they went to the lion, and he had that conversation, and the lion said, Aslan, that's his name. Aslan said that. He said that Edmund, whatever he done did, it's over with now. We done talked about it. He's been forgiven. He shouldn't hear nothing else about it. Because his siblings was, Edmund, you messed up and you was with the witch and you betrayed us. Betrayed. But Aslan, he checked that real fast and said, well, he's talked to me. Y'all came to me. So I'm going to tell you what it is.
Come on, sis. And like he said, should nothing be said about it after this? Again.
No
more. Just like your sin is in the lake of forgiveness. Throw his in there too and don't speak about it no more. This is called restoration. And this is what I'm saying, with people, they want to forgive you, but they want to now deal with you with a long handle spoon. But that's the worst form of hatred. You got to deal with, you got to put them back in the original position prior to them failing you as if it never ever happened. The same forgiveness that God trying to give you to give to that other person. It ain't that
exactly. You should never said you forgave him. You should never said that if you was gonna do all of that.
Basically,
it ain't that.
And then from in the church setting, it's like, what do we do? Like I said, do I sit here? Because this person has a really hard time forgiving. She's just used to people running. So I'm like, what do I do? Like, God is not telling me to leave, but can I take this torture? What do I do?
You water her seed for as long as you can, sis. You're only here to water, because you know what? It's somebody else that's gonna water her. Water her to have them stems grow out. You probably was just supposed to water that sprout. But you know what? You've helped her sprout to have those stems, and you know what? The person that had her help to get those stems aren't going to help her get those flower buds. You know what I mean? Somebody else that got to water to get those flowers so that she can blossom to be that. But
blossom to be nothing more, just to be, sis. And you straight up teaching. Come on, Moise. Just continue to water that seed until he tells you to move, but it ain't torture.
To move, to water something else. To water something else. That's your purpose. That is your purpose.
Now,
because though you've done with that plant, you're on to the next plant. You're on to the next. But don't be worried about them, because they're not alone. They're not alone. They're still getting watered. What are they getting watered with? We don't know.
The word.
That's not on you no more, though.
Word. Somebody else is coming along with the second part of that is for them. So don't worry.
Yes, I receive that.
Receive it, babe. But
Ever.
as we get up out of here, we'll see you at the top, never at the bottom. It's not what they call you, but it's what you answer to. We lit, we laugh, we true, be you. Let's rock out, y'all.
I know that's right. I love it.